Hey, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sleepwalk on today, March 17th, 2024, St. Patrick's Day. Gonna say a few words here. This is a bit of a stream of conscience, so forgive me if it rambles at times, but we really are just here to celebrate not only the day, but the people that make up the culture and the heritage of being Irish. The Irish, they're a lively bunch. Yeah. They're known to party at funerals and fight at weddings. People love to be Irish. I love being Irish. My grandmothers both Mary Catherine, one with a C, one with a K. Wow. It's true. They fancied a whiskey and ginger well into their 90s, late into their 90s. Mary Catherine with a C was 100 years old. Mary Kay was 96. I grew up going to Irish bars and taverns, even very underage, especially on St. Patrick's Day. A friend of ours owned a bar in Waterford called Kilty's, and some of my fondest memories was celebrating St. Patrick's Day with my family at Kilty's. Later, I got my master's degree working in Irish bars. The Dublin Underground in Albany, and beyond that, years of intensive research. Ireland is rich in its history and its mystic culture. The music, the food, their natural way of celebrating, even in the darkest of times.
Not in Albany.
Excuse me?
Not in Albany.
Oh, it's always dark in Albany. You haven't been there. Lots of magic in Ireland, and that was unfortunately a lot of it lost through the colonization. One of the earliest places to be a victim of imperialism, from first the Romans and then later the British. But that's how we now have our flag. The flag, which first flew 176 years ago, was a gift of the French for their sympathy of the Irish Revolution and the Irish cause. Brought together those two oppositions. So the green represents the Roman Catholic, and the orange, the Protestant.
Boo!
We know the crowd we're with, and the white in the middle, as unity. And St. Patrick and the Irish merriment, it's embraced. The lifestyle is embraced throughout the world. Especially today, people love wearing the bright green colors and imitating the fantastic accents. They have a gift for gab, the Irish. They have a certain charm, a way with words. So many of our poets, from James Joyce to Oscar Wilde, or Phil Lamont with Thin Lizzy, or Sinead O'Connor, even modern day heroes like George Carlin, Colin Quinn. Steely Dan, for anybody else wondering.
Oops, sorry, I meant Van Morrison.
Van Morrison. Van the Man Morrison. The Irish. They're record holders. In fact, they hold the record for holding records. The Guinness Book is what we reference, because there were so many debates in the bars and taverns that they had to lay down the law. Before the internet, before you could take it to the net, you'd have to have somebody there to, authenticate what was what, and that was born of the Guinness Book of World Records. Irish bars and taverns are all over the world, estimated some 7,000 throughout the world. It's a welcoming sign to travelers everywhere, because the Irish have always been known for their hospitality and generosity. The oldest pub dates back to 900 AD, and there's over 120 here in New York City. If you went to college anywhere in America, there's a good chance that your earliest drinks were served at an Irish pub. Just to fill in the blank of a name with an apostrophe S. Ireland also has one of the oldest maternity hospitals in the world, called Rotunda. And there are estimated 80 million people across the planet claim Irish ancestry. So that gives you some insight to what else the Irish are good at. But the Irish are all over the world, and so are their traditions. Halloween, in fact, started in Ireland over 2,000 years ago, obviously before the whole Christ bit.
Yeah.
It was a celebration of harvest before the winter, and it was also when they say that the door to the dead was open. You know, the mysticism of Ireland, they didn't shy away from their relationship to the dead. Also, the character Dracula was written by a Dubliner. So I guess they're really to blame for 2 horrible New York City parades. The first St. Patrick's Day parade was held here in New York City in 1762. And people wonder, why do people go so hard on St. Patrick's Day? Why do we drink so much? It's right in the middle of Lent. So anybody from the Catholicism or from Christianity who knows you gotta take a break, this was like the halfway point. So everybody goes nuts. The clover was a big part of Patrick's teachings. So St. Patrick is not Irish. For those of you wondering, St. Patrick's not Irish. He was kidnapped as a child from his homeland in, I think he's Welsh. But they kidnapped him and he was a slave in Ireland. And at that time he was introduced to Christianity. And then he escaped from his servitude and then came back. And that's upon his return when, you know, he starts to get his acclaim, spreading Christianity. And we think so closely of St. Patrick's and the clover because he used the clover as a part of his teaching of the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. But the Irish, you know, they have a lot of magic, a lot of charm, a lot of luck. And there's, you know, it's embodied in the lifestyle, it's embodied that everybody that you know, even if you're only a little bit of Irish today, you're always Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So before I bring up our next guest, I want to leave you with this. You know, we celebrate life and recognize the beauty of it, and what butter and whiskey won't cure, nothing will. To the Shanes, the Whites, the Gardners, the Ronans, the Dolans, the Kaylors, the McElhaney's, the McKennas, the O'Keefes, the McCarthys, the McElhaney's, the McNamees, the Murrays, the Thompsons, to Patrick Farrell.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Shane. Also, this is 15 years I started my company, Ronan, 15 years.
Yeah.
It shows St. Patrick's Day as a very specific day. To everyone who else, you know, from Brooklyn to Killarney, all around the world, may your heart be full of ambition, your dreams full of abundance, your families close and healthy, and our best days still ahead of us. Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And up next, you're gonna be blessed with the sounds of St. Mark's, Gerard and the St. Mark's Saints.
Yeah.
So stick around, kids. There's more music to come.